What's really fascinating about Shipton is, you kind of get the vibe from the TV show that she's a classist. Like, she believes that people belong in a certain class. And she, like, that whole thing of, she forced her tenants to vote, because she couldn't vote. So she would, like, say, if you want to live on my property, then you need to vote this way as a man, like, whenever you go to vote on things. And they were like, yes ma'am, and did it. And for a long, long time, but she did not want anyone who wasn't supposed to be on her property. So much so where she, like, dug out roads. That scene where they're digging out that road, that what used to be a main road that went through the Shipton property, and locals would walk through and steal things, like steal chickens and whatnot. She used to sit on the roof with a rifle and shoot at people for trying to, like, come on her property. And so it's curious to think, like, she's up there.
I can picture it. Can you not picture it completely?
She would sit, if you look where the middle one, see where the middle fire chimney is right there? She would sit on that little shelf that's right there, that little roof spot. That was her perch. And she would sit there and shoot, like, turn both directions of the house and shoot at people who would try to come to the property. She had a horse stolen. She had chickens stolen, like, often. So she probably had it and borrowed money to redirect that road so that they wouldn't go through the property. And it was a big deal big deal to her to do that, which is hilarious.
So I think that's actually a great segue into some of maybe the more dramatic elements of the story that may or may not be in reality. When I tell people about the show and why they should watch it, I say it's like Downton Abbey, but better.
It's really good. Pride and Prejudice for lesbians.
For lesbians, yes. So one of the, I really love all of the side characters, the really rich ensemble cast that we get. Particularly, I am enjoying the I can't remember anybody's name at the moment. The son of the drunken tenant. Yes, Souden. His whole story is fascinating. Those pigs, man. So what's our favorite, part? How much of that do we think is based on things that really happened? Do we know?
Not really. That was added in.
Yeah, and I think when you have a limited series like that, you have a full hour, you can explore a few other things. Just the storytelling of it. You want to weave in some other things to sort of. You can't leave anything on a cliffhanger if it just keeps going.
Right.
Except at the very end. So when you're structuring a show, you want to be able to go away from a particularly dramatic moment and come back to it later, and that means you're going to weave in some subplots. And I think that's what they did. I like Big Boy. I think that they handled that very well for the period. There were absolutely horrible drunkard people who ruled their families with terror, and if nothing else, it's very gratifying to have seen that happen. And I really hope he doesn't get caught because he seems nice otherwise.
Who thinks that he's gonna get caught?
I mean, get caught. Either that or he's gonna really go on a killing spree, and that's gonna get
I don't see that happening. I see him doing bad things because he's supposed to kill.
Yeah, he's a good person. Or it could be the start of Sweeney Todd. You don't know.
There's a crossover.
Finding him out.
I'll write that fanfiction.
It might be the younger child in me, but I just get a kick out of Ann Lister and her sister.
Yeah. It's the best.
I'm just like, she's so exasperated with her, and it's just it's so funny because she's like the exact opposite. She wants all the things that a woman in that era should want socially. She wants to be married, she wants to have the kids and the family and the money and all that stuff. And I just, like I said, I'm the younger sister in my family, and I totally get her. I'm like, I love Ann Lister, but I get her sister. I'm like, yeah, I know where you're coming from. I've been there.
Yeah. And those family dynamics are so universal. I mean, you're always going to have that sibling who's going to take care of the parents. Well, the other sibling goes off and is almost quite literally a rock star.
Right.
And to see that dynamic play out was really good.
It's spot on. It's exactly like that in the diaries. Like the banker offends his sister. That did happen. What's his name? Roston, you know, when she went into the bank and then like he straight up insulted her. And what's interesting is that like the whole scene where he comes in and like sits down with her and she's like, "How dare you like do this to my sister?" She actually did that in the bank. In the bank. Like went into the bank and was like had it with him and then invited him for dinner and then had it at him again. Like a week later, so cause she was upset and then they got along for like a month and you know, they were working together as a team to help out the household and their aunt and whatnot. So I thought that was really neat, as far as that piece of it. But what's really fascinating is her servants to me. That live in the house, especially the French maid, Eugenie. So
I want to shake her.
Here's the deal. All of that was like added in. She's way later. So like a groom, right?
George and her would have never.
No, they didn't even meet. So George did die in a tree by accident and getting shot while he was in a tree, and they were hunting. He was shaking a tree to get birds out. And some guy was being an idiot and shot him, and he died like a few days later because he was surgery.
And she did participate in the autopsy.
She did participate in his autopsy, which is really descriptive in the audiobook. And there's a lot. I mean, she talks about lots of different times, like when she's in France and she studied in France, and all sorts of other. That's a whole other conversation, but. What's interesting is that whole like story arc of Eugenie getting pregnant and then you know having miscarriage and like and all of that is it's not in there because when they mentioned groom, I was watching with my friend. She's like, "Wait, she had a suitor or what was the deal with that?" I said, "No, a groom is like a butler. Is what you would call a butler. They would travel with you. Your footman is a more common name that people are aware of. So when they say groom, it's not actual like groom, it's you know, a butler. And so she tries to hire all these different butlers in order to travel to Copenhagen, and that's when she meets Eugenie, and Eugenie doesn't come to Halifax until way after Anne and her are like when she comes back from Copenhagen. Because they meet halfway there at this local inn, and Eugenie's late and she gets in a lot of trouble with Anne. And they meet and they buy all the clothes that they need to travel, and then they go to Copenhagen and then they come back. So they took that character, that person, and then they wrote her in to kind of build up this whole backstory. But the head cook, what is it? Thank you, girls. No, I appreciate you. You're saving me. Elizabeth she's one of my favorite, and the aunt. I love her aunt.
Gemma Jones is a treasure.
She was amazing in was it Little Women?
The actress is in another Anne Walker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She's in everything.
She's in everything. She plays the mom in Little
You
Women.
can get a better experience than that.
She will always be the mom in Little Women to me, like all forever. She's hysterical and you know, like, and then you see her in this very like serious, like comforting role. And Anne through her whole entire life had this amazing relationship with her aunt.
Those scenes are some of my favorite in the show. Their relationship is so lovely.
So important too.
And I was surprised in listening to the companion book that actually she probably did know that Anne was totally fine with it, which is
She totally. She talks about grumbling with her aunt. Not like with her aunt, but like she's discussing it.
And she was talking about like the women that she wanted to spend her life with and everything, and it's even suggested that maybe she kind of, Anne Walker up the road.
Well,
You should meet with
she
her.
did kind of like, you should go see this person and meet her. And then at one point when her aunt saw that Anne was struggling with her with Walker's mental health, her aunt was like, "You don't need that. You don't need that. She's crazy." Like, literally told her, "Don't, like, break it off now. Don't invest yourself in it." And her uncle totally fine with it. Like, but he was fine with it, but he didn't want to talk about it. He would get. She writes that he would, as they would begin, like say that the aunt and uncle were sitting in the parlor, and Anne would come in and want to talk to her aunt about all the wonderful things. After going and spending the night over at Miss Walker's house, her aunt was like, "Tell me all the things," and the uncle was like, "It's time for me to leave." Like, I think it's time for me to retire. And he would like get up and he would leave the room, but he was completely supportive, which was really interesting.
I think it's awesome. I mean, it just makes me happy for her that she had that support
Yeah, uncle, fathers, yeah.
during that time, since it was so rare, that she had a place where she could be herself. One thing, and I just want to mention this because I find it really interesting as an actress and a director, the way Saran Jones holds herself, her physicality, that ramrod straight posture and that fast walking, that gait, and I think my favorite where you really see it is when those scenes in Copenhagen, when she's actually in actual that dress. I was laughing so hard, I couldn't handle it. But I feel like another one of the brilliant things that the show does is you see her in her habitat. She has created her environment to be her place. Like, even I love the little detail about the grooms wearing this extremely ridiculous livery, and that they have to struggle into it every time they go open the door. You know, that they're like, "Oh, this is ridiculous. Why do we have to wear this?"
Cracking up every time.
Every time.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, put on the thing.
And so after a while, I didn't even think about her clothing and this sort of masculine style of clothes that she wore until you put her as a fish out of water. And then you really see how different she is from everyone
She
else.
bows to the mom person.
Oh.
That, and she wrote about it in her diary, and she's like, made a huge misstep today. This is what happened. Hopefully I won't do that again and survive. It's really interesting. It was really a little side anecdote, those birds of paradise that are in her hair. So in the real diaries, she was getting out of the carriage, and as she was trying to get out, it like caught next to like that, and one flew out of her hair, and she immediately was like, and freaked out for like a second, and immediately she comes out, gets caught, then she goes back and sits back down in the sea, and the woman who's this lady that has invited her to the this grand birthday party for the queen, like fixes it for her and saves the day for her. When they were filming that scene and she was getting out of the carriage and got caught, everyone lost it. They thought it was hilarious.
That's amazing. Yeah, I wouldn't want to wear
The irony, right?
Right. Those clothes are very tricky. That shows it right there. Yeah.
Yeah, can I just say, I appreciate how hard this show went for the 1830s fashion. Which
Yes.
has always been a ridiculous fashion decade, and they just went
yes.
for it.
Because let's-
It was like the 70s of the Victorian.
Yes. Oh my God, that is such a great point. Because I wanted to make the Anne Walker gown. It's a very weird, very small period, the Romantic period, because it's before Victorian actually starts, but it's post 17th century, and it really was a fad. Like those crazy, the sleeves, and it's the beginning of ball gown. It's this super weird transitional period. And
Or like Gemma Whalen's, like it looks like she's wearing a tablecloth.
yeah. Oh, I love that dress. That plaid dress, I do love it. But one of the cool things about those sleeves, which I was really looking forward to making, I'm doing it next year, you guys. You have to have thank you. You have to have a support to make the sleeve poof out. You're essentially wearing like a garter belt underneath your sleeve that's like about this high to support the sleeve because they're that big. It's amazing. You could hide kittens in there. That's my dream.
It's got pillows, and like, so it's a garter belt, and there's like,
It's like a little cushion.
Like, not
Do you
like
have
just like
kittens in
grenade
your
holster.
You have no kittens.
Does he have a fire code and stuff?
It's like little like grenade, like you know, like grenade bandolier, and they put pillows in it.
It's awesome.
Yep. Super short head.
So, the show implies that Anne Walker is viewed as a curiosity. How did the Danish receive her?
You mean Ann Lister?
Lister.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, there's a lot of Anns involved.
I know. How was Miss Lister perceived by the Danish? Was she accepted, or was she a curiosity, or?
She was like the hot new thing. Like
Okay.
they passed her around from dinner to dinner and party to party. At first she was like, I don't know why they don't want to like keep me at one place. And she kept going to all these different dinners, and she would keep making these faux pas, and they just thought it was adorable.
Oh.
The queen like really liked her. Like they had tea together,
Oh.
they talked, and one of the ladies in waiting actually became really good friends with her dad. She actually like had a thing. Like she had a whole thing with somebody else in Copenhagen, and was kind of like dismissive about it. Like, yeah, she's worthless. Like I don't want to have anything to do with this. And she was very, she was seeking love and she wanted a relationship. But Veer gutted her. I mean, again, going back to that, like they lived together, they had an apartment. She found a boo on the side and like went after him to get married. And at one point, slowly faded away her affections. Like Veer literally said, "You can come down to dinner to Sydney for an hour every day, and that's it." Like she ostracized her. She wouldn't invite her out anymore to anything, and this happened over like a 6-month period. And to where there was this slow like removal, and then when Anne was finally like, "I'm done with you, whatever," she was still living there, and she went off and started going out to parties, going out and seeing things, and all of a sudden Vera was like, "But why are you going? Why are you there?"
The attention.
She got engaged to the guy, and then all of a sudden wanted to like go into her room at night. Like Vera got engaged, wanted to go to Anne's room at night, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Like, no. And they had this very bad breakup and a huge throwdown before she went back home to Shipton. So I mean, she was gutted like when she went back home because of it. Didn't trust anybody. She was not looking like she was not really looking for. She wanted a wife, but she wasn't actively seeking out a wife when she met Anne like 4 or 5 months later.
So we have about 2 minutes left. So I want to point people towards resources if y'all want to learn more about this actual time period. If you want to learn more about these actual people, like where can they go to? What can you like talk about the name of the podcast that you listen to and that kind of thing?
Well, there were a couple that I listened to, but actually, if you want like a whole nother side of it, from like the lesbian angle, Shipton After Dark is amazing. Yes. And they're hilarious and funny, and I recommend it.
I wish we could have had more time to really talk about sort of that, what kind of icon Ann Lister has been for the community. So we'll talk after class if you want.
Yeah.
She has been. She was iconic. She defined the way that some relationships, happen and occur in her own right as well as
So we have breaking news in the moment. This lovely person tweeted out about our fan panel, and Ann Choma said, "Well, this is everything we hoped would happen." Thanks to Power of Gentleman Jack and Spicy YW. Oh, Allie Wainwright. Ann Lister's finally gone global. She is center stage where she deserves to be. I, for one, think she would be delighted. I'm sorry, I had to show that one more time. It's so awful. Thank you guys so much. Oh yes, cosplayers come up front so we can get your picture. Yes, please. Please remember to, if you enjoyed this panel, rate it on the DragonCon app, because if you enjoyed this, we want to be able to bring you more content that you want. Oh my God, you guys look amazing.
Wow. Get that thermometer up front. That is awesome.
No, you guys are adorable. I love it.